Okay, welcome to Hydroneer. So this is episode 5. We'll be discussing the drills. That's the Goliath drill, um, the ram drill, and also the harvester. We'll be looking at how to build them, some pretty good builds, how to stop some of the lag, and we'll be talking about definitely the glitches and pros and cons. Look, there are a lot of videos about this stuff, but not a lot of them go in detail about the most efficient way to use these units. Okay, they talk about the most efficient builds, but there's a lot of things you should be aware of before you ever start building some gigantic factory, okay? And that's what I hope to address. So we're going to go ahead and head on into town. I've had to make this video about 6 times because one big problem is the sun comes up and down a lot, and it's hard to see at night when you're doing this. Number two, the amount of noise that these drills make it extremely hard for me to record and you to be able to hear. Um, so anyways, as I've been telling you guys, you the ones of you that are new and you're back on the small lot, you need to get on this side. You see, we just came from the big store, um, and the driveways are twice as wide. There's less rocks in the way. It's just easier and shorter to go over here, okay? So we're almost there. So this is the biggest lot. It costs you 6,600 gold coins, and you can get that in a couple of hours, even if you just started the game. So it doesn't really make sense for you to sit way on that little tiny lot. Okay, so here's the factory in all its glory. I've optimized this thing to where I literally don't have that much lag, and I don't get that much spillage. And in fact, if you look at the build itself, I use double funnels and an extra space. I put all bricks, all these concrete blocks, and then what I do is I leave an open space that I'm standing in so I'm able to put these in place correctly, and I don't lock them in place with a construction hammer. And so when the gold gets shot in the top one, then it falls down here, and then it catches it. 99.9% of the time. The more gold you can get in these crucibles, the less your game is going to drag. So your ultimate goal is to have a highly efficient build that gets all that gold melted into there, okay? Because a lot of videos, I see these guys sitting there with a magnet, you know? They've got one funnel, and they're constantly having to use a magnet. The game constantly drags. You don't really want to go that direction with your builds, okay? And you will see this in action. Um, now the next thing I want to do is let's go ahead and get to the Goliath drill. This is the deepest, this is the biggest map and also the deepest hole that you can dig. So I dug it all the way till the game no longer allows you to dig any deeper, okay? So let's take a look at a build. Now I'm just doing a simple one for you guys so you can see how this works. So you drop your pipe through you basically use your pick to dig a deep, deep hole. Coming on down, you drop all your pipes. Let me tell you, putting these pipes all the way down takes some work. The reason is because you can reach only so far from the bottom up, and when you're up top, you can only reach so far going down. And so I had a lot of trouble with one pipe in the very center getting it connected. Okay, to cure the problem, I got a couple of blocks, stacked them up, and then jumped on top of them, and was able to get that very hard to get pipe in the center up there. So once you have this built out, you can just put a block here. You take your shovel, you can put a couple of shovel loads in the center of that block, and then drop your Goliath drill on top. Now look, I know what everybody's going to say. These drills have another giant drill bit at the very bottom that you can't really see right now. And it'll chew up that dirt within one turn. So it'll chew up that dirt and then kick out a piece of a dirt ball into the harvester next to it. So that's kind of an inefficient build. You're really supposed to have these harvesters in the ground, you put them on top. You've got to have a little bit of ground above them, okay? At least a block's worth. About the size of a block is about how much dirt you should leave on the floor down here, and then do your build. But here's where the problem is. First of all, the Goliath drill breaks down constantly. So you constantly have to have these blue bags with spanner wrenches. You only get 5 wrenches in a bag, okay? So you're running back and forth to stop the sparking, okay? The second thing is, once it burns up the dirt, which doesn't take very long, you have to move the drill. And you're not just moving the drill, you're moving the pipes. And let me tell you, it's quite a process. I don't know. I really do think that Max may want to rethink this, but that's just my opinion. Okay, so anyways, Once you get that Goliath drill in place, you dig your dirt under there and you have it floating in the air. You connect that. And then, of course, I put a window in front of the Goliath drill. That way, when it spits the dirt ball out, it bounces off the window and lands directly into the harvester. Now, normally with ram drills, I would put another window down here. But let me tell you something. The harvester kicks out these giant rocks, and it sends them blazing in every direction. So you would have to have a wall of windows to slow down where it throws these. And it blew my mind when I first saw how they blew them around. Now let me show you something else about this. When you have your ram drills, like when you look at the big factory I have upstairs, it produces a lot of gold and it produces it quickly and not so much repair. So it is excellent for producing all the gold that you want. What it doesn't produce is giant gems, okay? Only the Goliath does that. So if you want to that's what the Goliath drill is good for. It produces these giant gems which you can craft into giant jewels. The other great purpose of this guy is it produces these giant power crystals, okay? So that's the two things that you need. But the thing about it is you don't need a lot of them. So that's why I only run this ram drill when I need extra jewels or if I need extra these giant power crystals. That's what I call them. And that's it. I don't run it for the gold. In fact, these big nuggets, they look big, but it doesn't mean they're actually worth all that much. Considering that you're going to sit there and wait 20, 30 seconds every time that it shoots out one of these things, I go up to to all my ram drills up there. I'm producing gold every half second. This thing's producing, every 20, it seems like every 20 seconds. And these nuggets aren't really worth that much, maybe 1,000 gold. 8 ram drills is pumping out 1,000 gold a second. So I don't use Goliath drills for anything but the giant gems that you only get from here and the giant crystals to power up my pumps. That's it. Okay, enough chatter. Now, look, guys, one of the big problems you always want to solve is how in the world do you get in and out of these tunnels? It's easy. I've talked about this in other videos. Press your escape button, click unstuck, and use it as a teleport. That way, you can get in and out your hole fast. So there's the hole, and I just got out of it. So yeah, use your unstuck button as a teleporter. Now, what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to kick on my big unit here, and we're going to watch it work. So the proof is in the pudding. Is it true? Does double funneling actually contain 99.9% of the gold and shoot it directly in the crucible? Because the way the game mechanics work, if you have a lot of little pieces of gold laying around and not going in the crucible to be melted, that means you've got hundreds of lines of code making your game have to process all that. Your computer has to process all that code. So trying to get all that gold into a crucible where it's melted into just one single line of code speeds up your game. So it's really important for efficiency to use double funnels and get that gold into that crucible as quickly as possible so the game doesn't lag. All right, so enough chatter about that. We'll kick it on and see what it does. Whoop, got one thing. I'm going to have to go up and kick them on. I'm just going to kick on 4 because it's a lot of noise. Now look, I see a lot of elaborate builds, where people are using all these conveyor belts, miles of stuff, and grinders and all that stuff. Look, for ram drills, I don't have any problem with putting them right next to it. It doesn't require a single conveyor belt for me to do that. And I don't give hardly any claws except for in the very beginning, and that's it. So I don't quite understand why people are building all these different conveyor belts just to get the material directly to the harvester. That's up to you if you want to do all that extra building. This very simple design works very well. Okay, so let's see it in action. Now, yeah, it did stop. That's, part of the deal when you first start playing. They're always going to have a little breakdown. But as you can see, only one piece of gold out of the whole time that I've been running it before we got on here actually fell down there. The rest of it lands around the rim and into the crucible. which means I have a 99.9% success rate. Some days I don't have any spillage out here. Like I told you, the goal is to make sure that as much of this gold gets into the crucible and not out on your map, because that makes your game lag. I see a lot of guys walking around with magnets all day long, and look, that's a lot of work. So let's go take a look and see what happened. Alright, so that's fixed. I think I've made the point there. So what we want to do next is I'm going to go up there and cut them off. And let's go down to the Goliath drill and see that in action real quick. There's a little bit of that lag I was talking about. So yeah, I think this is a great build, and it's actually a build I got from the PC guy. Forget his name, but he's another person who does videos about these, and I actually really enjoy his channel. And he definitely has one of the best builds that I've seen that's highly efficient. And so yeah, PC guy or something like that. Couldn't tell you at the moment. Okay, so we got all the drills off. I'm going to kick the water on. Let's go look and watch that Goliath drill in action real quick. Well, one drill's still running, but oh well. So we drop down in here. Let's kick it on. So as you can see, you've got to wait. Wait. Some quick advice. Make sure you got plenty of blue bags, because you're going to be constantly fixing these. So right now, while we're waiting on Goliath to kick out the first piece of dirt, we probably already would have had 1,000 gold out of just 4 ram drills. You see how it just blasted out that gold? So we got all these nuggets right here. So I'll tell you what, we're going to take that, hit escape, teleport upstairs, and let me prove my point. Let's run down to the store and just see how much this chunk of gold's worth. I can tell you on average, if you fill a bucket of gold with ram drills of small pieces of gold, you're going to average around 1,000, maximum 1,400, okay? And I just want to see how much a chunk of this is worth. Well, actually, I just want you to see. So the reason I'm on foot is I don't feel like giving a tutorial about the driving. And to be frank with you, this is just faster for this situation. So all that excitement earns you 62 gold coins. Are you kidding me, right? That means 4 of them, maybe that 4 that it kicked out, and normally doesn't do that. It gives you 2 or 3, would have only been worth 150 gold coins. All that. So you're spending 240 gold coins to buy them blue bags for spanners. You only get 5 shots with that. You've got to wait 6 to 8 times longer for that machine to work. Every time you run out of dirt, you've got to move and repipe it all this time just to deal with a Goliath drill. So let me just make it as plain as I can. Use your ram drills to produce all your gold, okay? Because otherwise, you're going to spend your lifetime down there. Use your Goliath drill only to produce 2 products. And about every 4th to 6th try, you're going to get a nice power. You're going to get a nice crystal to power up your power pumps, and you want to get it because you can get your giant gems for your crafting. I would not use a Goliath drill or a bunch of them to make gold, because this is a joke. 62 gold coins. Let me tell you something. For all the time and effort you would have put in, you could have poured out a tremendous amount of gold out of ram drills. So there it is. The proof is in the pudding.